Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the SAT and the ACT. Can anybody tell me what they stand for? Alright, just kidding. It's a trick question. They actually don't stand for anything. They used to mean stuff back when they were started, back in like the 50s, but sometime in the mid-90s they made it so that it just stands for SAT reasoning test and ACT test. So, aside from that, there are a lot of differences between the two. The main difference that you need to know is the kind of test that they are. The SAT is a critical thinking and problem-solving test, and the ACT is a content-based test. They're trying to figure out what you actually learned in high school. So I found an easy way to remember the main difference between these two tests is to remember that the ACT tests you on what you actually know, and the SAT is what you could figure out if you sat down and thought about it. So that's the main difference. The other differences that you need to know is that the SAT focuses heavily on vocabulary, while the ACT covers science, reasoning, trigonometry, and grammar. The SAT also orders their questions from easiest to hardest, while the ACT doesn't. And the SAT includes all the formulas for any math problem that you would need to do, but the ACT doesn't. So if you're going to take the ACT, you need to remember the formulas going in. For the SAT, each subject is split into smaller subsections, which are timed pretty tightly, whereas the ACT, every subject you're taking as one block. The SAT also uses tricky wording sometimes. They're trying to throw you off so that you can figure out how to extract the question, while the ACT is more straightforward. And the SAT, this is the biggest deal probably to know. The SAT penalizes you a fraction of a point for wrong answers, while the ACT doesn't. So on the ACT, it's always in your best interest to guess, no matter what. Alright, so now that we've gone over some of the basic differences, we're going to do a quick game. I call this fire drill. Basically, I'm going to read a test-taking strategy, and the first person that can tell me whether it applies to the SAT, the ACT, or both gets a piece of candy. So, how about taking practice exams?
Both.
Alright, studying vocabulary?
SAT.
Alright, studying necessary math formulas?
ACT.
Good job. Studying science reasoning?
ACT.
Alright, practicing essay writing?
Both.
SAT. Alright, Liana, I'll give you one too, Sarah. We'll talk about it afterwards. Alright, getting a good night's sleep and eating a good
Both.
breakfast? If you don't know the answer, guess.
ACT.
Good job. Expect the easiest questions first.
SAT.
Good job. And focus on problem-solving strategies.
SAT.
Good job, Anne. Study proper English grammar.
ACT.
Good job, Liana. Don't stress.
Both.
Good job. Alright, you guys did good with that. Now that we've gone over the differences, I'm going to take a minute and go over really quickly a sample math problem from the ACT with you. I've already handed you out the worksheet that you need, so can somebody read the question for me?
The figure below shows two tangent circles such that the 10 centimeter diameter of the smaller circle is equal to the radius of the larger circle. What is the area in square centimeters of the shaded region?
Cool, so this is my example for you guys to have the reference up here. Can somebody tell me how you would go about determining the area of the shaded region? Liana.
The area of the big circle minus the area of the little circle.
Okay, cool. And since we need to determine the area of a circle, can anybody tell me what the formula for the area of a circle is? Jerry.
Pi r squared.
Good job. Alright, so the area of a circle equals pi r squared. If we already know that we need to find the area of the big circle and subtract it from the area of the little circle, let's start with the area of the big circle. How would you figure that out?
You plug in 10 for the radius.
Okay, so, keep going.
A equals pi times 10 squared.
Okay, and what would 10 squared be?
100.
Okay, so you've got pi 100 or 100 pi. Alright, and then we're going to subtract the area of the smaller circle. Who wants to figure out that one? Jay?
5 squared times pi, so 25 pi.
Alright, good work. Now real quick, let's detour for a second. Who can tell me what the numerical value of pi is? Liana?
2.14.
Cool. Now, if you look at your worksheet, you'll see that pi is actually part of some of the answers. If you see that, you'll know that you don't actually need to use the numerical value of pi. It's a good thing to know, but in this case, you can keep pi as a symbol as we have in this equation. Alright, so if you've got 100 pi minus 25 pi, what does that leave you with?
75.
Good job, guys. All right. So we've got 75 pi as the area of the shaded region. Does anybody see that as a choice on the answer sheet?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah,
How
Anne.
come when we subtract, the pies don't cancel each other out?
That's a good question. An easy way to think about it, since pi is a symbol, think about it as something tangible, like pies. So you've got 100 pies. If you eat 25 of them, you're going to be really sick, and you're going to have 75 pies left over. All right? So you've got 75 pi. That's the area of the shaded region. All right? Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Yay.